Cheers. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, football's finally back, baby. Hell yeah. Minnesota Vikings football is finally fucking back. Let's go, boys and girls. Hell yeah. And I am excited. Which, as a Vikings fan, I should probably temper expectations. No. Anyway, with all that aside, Oh, man. We made it. We're finally here. Finally, the Minnesota Vikings will be playing some actual football against another team. Granted, like I say, it's only preseason, but still. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, yeah, that's right. Minnesota Vikings football will start the 2021 campaign preseason week 1 against the Denver Broncos at US Bank Stadium on Saturday. So, there'll be a few things that I'll be really kind of keeping my eye on. A few questions that, I don't know if they'll be answered necessarily this week. That'll be definitely something down the line, in especially preseason week 3, that we pretty much should have an answer for, because remember, with the whole new CBA and all that stuff, we essentially swapped the 4th preseason game with an extra regular season game. So, now we only have 3 preseason games and 17 regular season games. So, but yeah, it all kicks off against the Denver Broncos, preseason game week 1. And what are those 3 things I'll be looking for? Well, I'm glad you asked. Number 1, for me, at least at this point in time, is going to be the backup/starting quarterback position. Well, we pretty much already know who the starter is going to be. That's more than likely going to be Kirk Cousins. However, who's going to be that backup? Because, well, Sean Mannion is no longer on the Vikings. And, yeah, let's just say if Kirk Cousins goes down, do we trust Jake Browning? Do we trust Nate Stanley? Are we going to have to go out and get someone else? So that'll be one of the more interesting things to watch here, especially because if 2021 is anything like 2020 was, well, it's going to be an interesting year. Let's just say that. And especially with how last couple weeks have gone, especially with the whole quarterback thing. Ooh. Yeah, let's just say I hope I don't have to report on any of that the rest of the season, but yeah, it's probably going to be inevitable that something does happen. So yeah, for me, that will be number 1. Number 2, to kind of keep an eye on and all that stuff for me, will be, how does our defense look? Oh boy. Because, well, practically it's all new players, well, for lack of a better term, with the exception of like 2 guys, like Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks to most of an extent, and plus, we get a lot of our guys back from injury and all that stuff, but yeah. All I can say is our defense better be better than last year, which, in my opinion, it probably will, and, well, should be, especially with all the additions we made, as well as some re-additions. But it'll be interesting to see how guys like Patrick Peterson gel. Xavier Woods, how does he gel, as well as Nick Vigil, Troy Dye, like kind of bringing up some of the younger guys here. Cam Dantzler. How's Danielle Hunter look from his injury? Bringing back guys like Mack and, Sheldon Richardson, too, bringing some of the guys back who were Vikings, who left and then came back, as well as who kind of has the edge on the opposite rush position, opposite defensive end from Danielle Hunter, which right now looks like it's Stephen Weatherly. So if I'm a betting man, at least as of now, don't be surprised if it is Stephen Weatherly that starts off the year as that second defensive end. So, and then third, for me, at least that'll be really a big thing to watch, will be our special teams, primarily kick and punt returner. So, punter, as of now, it still looks like it's Britton Colquitt. So, I mean, he is what it is there. As long as you don't really talk about the punter a lot during the game, or if you do talk, it's one of those positions where if you do or don't talk about him, it's a good thing, or if you do or don't talk about him, it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? So, that's just kind of how special teams are and all that stuff. And also our kicking position with like Greg Joseph. Right now, I'd say he's probably the favorite, but again, that'll just be something to watch moving forward. As well as, some of our special team returners. Like Kenny Nwangu is a name. KJ Osborne is another name. Amir Smith-Marset could be potentially, but it sounds like he's kind of been on the doghouse with Zimmer when it comes to stuff like that. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to watch. And then also a last little thing to watch, too, will be, I guess not a little thing, in either terms of, size of the players as well as the importance of this position, will be offensive line. Oh, boy. Because, again, Darrisaw really hasn't been in there. Wyatt Davis, who knows? Right now, Ali Udo is a name that I've been hearing a lot of. Dakota Dozier is a name I've been hearing a lot of. It's... oh, boy. But yeah, again, who knows? I'm just hoping that if we can at least get to middle of the road for the offensive line, because I know, again, it's still a work in progress, as it's pretty much been for the last 5 freaking seasons, but what do I know? And again, it's not for lack of trying, I'll admit that, but... And of course, the depth, positions behind and all that stuff too, like, who's going to be our, 4th, 5th receivers, who's going to be, like the 3rd, 4th tight ends, running backs, who, our cornerback depth, just depth basically and all that stuff too. Kind of get an idea of all that stuff. So, yeah, not really much else to say. It's not like it's a massive, like week 17 game to go into the like the playoffs or anything like that. But again, championships are started during training camp and during the preseason, because that's where you can try out different wrinkles and this and that and the other thing. Because I've been seeing with the Vikings, they've been doing some different packages, especially on offense. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little Wildcat this year, boys. And honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea because, at least do a little more trickery. Maybe not like, 50, rollouts and, option plays and all that stuff with Kirk Cousins. But, who knows, Be nice to not be, predictable all the damn time. So, yeah. But yeah, that pretty much will conclude a preview of preseason week 1. So, stay tuned sometime Saturday or Sunday or whenever. Probably right after the game Saturday. We'll kind of break it down and just kind of give you my overall thoughts and opinions on it because, yeah, as I said before, championships are won during the off season. Depth becomes a huge thing. And again, with it being 17 games instead of 16 games, with only, and one less preseason game, which, I mean, granted, like, the fourth preseason game was just mainly to see, the bubble guys, to see who actually has a chance at the practice squad and who's gone. But still, I mean, we're back. I mean, we have high expectations this year, boys. Kind of nice to live up to them once in a while. But anyway, so yeah, until we meet again, SKOL. Have a good night.